Fed up of wardrobes, driven to distraction and drowning with doom boxes? Tired of living in chaos? Welcome to Decluttering Untangled, how to declutter when you're overwhelmed, ADHD or autistic. I'm going to help you uncover the secrets to decluttering no matter what hurdles you face. You'll discover how to declutter, de-stress and transform your world. I'm Heather Tingle, reformed hoarder, neurodivergent declutter queen and your guide through the maze of mess. Let's get untangled. Hello Untanglers, and welcome back to another episode of Decluttering Untangled with me, your host, Heather Tingle. So today I want to talk about something really specific. I think it's going to be really helpful for you because I want to talk to you about electrical wires, cables and chargers. So that junk drawer stress that seems to live in every single home I walk into. And the junk drawer with cables that you don't know what they're for, the bag of chargers or wires that you've moved house with 3 times, and the box of tangled wires that you've got in the garage. That random charger that you don't know what it's for, but nobody dares throw it away because it might come in handy or might be really essential one day. Now, if this is for you, then please know that you are not alone, that this is very normal and it happens in so many different homes. You're not careless, you're human, and you're probably also running a house in 2026 where everything needs a charger and none of it ever looks the same. And I include my own home in that, especially because Apple keep changing the blooming ends of the chargers. So I find that chargers and wires and cables have got a few issues, and there's real reasons why that they're a bit of a struggle, because they are a kind of decision problem. They're quite complicated because they're actually quite a really big long-term project to declutter. It's rather than a quick fix. So this is not something that you can listen to today and then get started and it takes 10 minutes unless you're already hyper-organised, in which case you're probably not listening to this podcast. And it's not something you can get an immediate solution to sort. But what I'd like to do today is give you like a blueprint or a plan of action to follow on how you can sort it properly and for good. And it takes as long as it takes to declutter, in all honesty. So cables, chargers and wires represent so many unfinished decisions. So we keep them just in case. We don't know what they belong to. We assume that future us will know. In the future, this magical version of us is going to understand exactly what it was for and know more information than what we know now. Future us does not have that information. If you don't have that information now, it's highly unlikely that future you is going to know that if you don't do something about it. That's really important to know, that you've actually got to do something to have the answers. And for a neurodivergent brain especially, this is quite like a perfect storm of issues. So executive dysfunction makes categorising and sorting it feel really hard work and heavy. Fear of throwing something away and really important can keep us stuck with it. Not knowing where to take something to get rid of it can be difficult, and tech feels, especially in my head anyway, I hope that I'm not alone in this, it feels a little bit more complicated and confusing than my capabilities, so we try and avoid it. So this is what I would like you to try and tackle it really with. So step 1 is not to sort it room by room. It makes it much more complicated that way. Step 1 is actually to gather every single wire, charger, cable in your home and create an electricals box or 2. I would say 2 really. You're going to have 1 for wires and chargers and that kind of cables, and 1 for the main product. So like the old tech stuff. So the camera, the microphone, the computer, the laptop, that kind of stuff. I want you to have those in 2 different boxes. As you declutter your home, places like your kitchen, your loft, your garage, you're going to keep an eye out for any of those random wires or electrical items that you find that's kind of random, and then you're going to place it in those boxes. Now, it might be that you've got heavy-duty wires in the garage for power tools, and you might have another smaller one for like computer wires in your home office, for example, or your living room if that's where most of your tech lives, like gaming stuff. So that is okay. Think about the placement of these boxes, as that's actually quite important. And this is something that you can absolutely start doing today, is getting those boxes sorted. Going through the drawers, the baskets behind the sofa, looking in your loft, in your car, the random one in the kitchen, in the back of your car boot. I'm trying to think where all my wires are. They were all over the place. And I want you to put them in one place. And then as you get closer to the end of your decluttering journey, everything is all together. So that's when you're going to need an hour or two to go through them and find a space to get them all out and go through them. So obviously, until you're at this point, it's making life easier because you know where the random wires that you find can live. So they've got a temporary home. And also when you need a wire or charger, you know where to look for it. So although it might take 3 months, 6 months, a year to feel you're at the point where you've probably emptied every old suitcase, gone through every doom bag or box, or you've gone in every little nook and cranny in your home. It's going to take time to get to that point. But at least in the meantime, you've got those boxes either, I don't know, in your understairs cupboard or in your living room, dining room or garage or whatever. You've got them there. So at least you know they've got a temporary home for now. So once you've got them all together, you're pretty much at the end of your decluttering journey. I'm sorry, this does take time, but you're going to get to the point of sorting them all out. So like the dining table's good. If you've got a big space on your floor, that's really useful. If you don't have that space somewhere like your bed, or if it's a nice day, you can do it outside in the garden, but somewhere where you can visibly see everything and you can put them in like different piles for different sizes of type of thing. So it might be ones that are quite heavy duty be one side of the space. It might be you've got loads of USB cables and those kind of things at another side, and you can put them all together so you can see how many you've got of each one. So when you get them all together, something quite interesting happens psychologically. It stops being lots of like tiny, annoying, irritating decisions, and it starts to become a project. And it's a bit like a really very boring game of matching pairs where you've got to match things up together. So it does become a little bit of a treasure hunt. So instead of like, oh my God, I've got wires everywhere, it kind of becomes right, which one do you belong to? Or what fits this socket, and try and figure it out. So that's when you're going to have the fun part, and I'm obviously being sarcastic at this point, of plugging things in and testing. So you're going to need a plug socket near you because you're going to have to check if some of them is faulty or not, because it may be that you bought a new one because the old one didn't work, but you never got rid of the old one just in case it did actually work. It might be that you're going to have to get some batteries to charge something up before you can check if a wire works or not, or if an item works or not. So it's really important that this is a real kind of project and you've got everything that you need for this project. So you're going to get all your devices together, your old laptops, your old phones, your old Kindles, your old headphones, your old cameras, if you still got them, those kind of things. And that's when you're going to start matching them together. Find out what fits in each one. And it might be that a wire works for more than one thing, and that's okay. So what works, what charges something that you own, you're going to find duplicates, and that's okay. You will find that you've got like 3 or 4 cables, and I'm being very, very that's the small number here, that do the same job. And you're going to find at least one that belongs to something that you threw away years ago. And it was probably because you couldn't find the blooming charger for it. But you're going to find things, and then you're going to find these random things that you've got absolutely no idea what it is for. This is where Google image search can come really in handy. And also getting a magnifying glass if you've got old eyes like me, so you can actually see the really worn writing on the top of the charger, or a brand name or something like that, to give you an idea of what it could possibly be for. But if you've got absolutely no idea what something is for, and you've got all your technical items together and you can't find the other half to it, ask yourself a really simple question. Do I own this item? Probably not. If the answer is no, then let it go, because it's highly likely that if you keep it, then you probably can get the other, you can probably get it again if you need it anyway. So if you find the thing that it belonged to and you'd got rid of it, it's probably not the end of the world, because you probably haven't used it in a long, long time. And if you did want to use it, you can probably buy another cable for it very, very easily and cheaply anyway. So the answer, if you do not know what that mystery cable or charger is for, it is okay to let it go, or maybe put a limit on it for keeping it for a certain length of time. It may be that you've got lots of the same type of cable. Are you going to put a limit on that? Maybe keeping 3 or 5, but maybe not 27 of the same one. That can maybe come in handy. And labelling them. don't be afraid to put them in the bin if you need to get rid of them. It is okay, unless it's got some kind of battery in there. Obviously, if it's got some kind of battery in it, you don't put it in your bin because it's a fire risk. So most councils will take small electricals at the tip, or waste disposal sites or recycling centres, I think as they're now called. There's also places like hardware superstores, the B&Qs of the world will also accept small electricals too. You can also be useful if you've got a company like we have where I live. We're really lucky. We've got a company that takes old electricals and reuses them. So they take old laptops and computers, and then if they get a spare cable, it can come in handy for them. So do find a good solution for you. And if that means letting it go properly, just in a tip, then that's okay. Like, that's all right. You don't have to find the right exit for it. So how to stop it happening again is, well, you've already done the main thing, and that's by having your boxes. So you've already got the homes. You just got to find the right place for it, whether it's in the garage or in a drawer somewhere. So for some families that I work with, it's having it in the playroom so that most of the kids' toys are electricals, and that's where most of the stuff is. It might be in the living room where most of the gaming stuff and TV stuff is, and like stereo systems are. Or it might be in the garage because it's mostly power tools. Or it might be like under the stairs cupboard or under the kitchen cupboard, like with DIY stuff. It's whatever's right for you and your family and your circumstance. But labelling is one of the most important things you can do, because you'll think that you'll remember and you probably won't. So it's not over the top to do it. It's just looking after your future friend. So get some masking tape, or if you don't have it, like washi tape, wrap a little flag, make a little flag round with it at the end of the charger, and write in permanent marker what it belongs to. So for example, work laptop or Kindle or spare USB or whatever makes sense to you. Your future self is going to love you for doing this. And if you get stressed about them tangling up, then do what I do and secure it. So you can bundle them into figure of eights and use things like elastic bands, but I get too stressed with elastic bands. So I use Velcro ties, even a bit of string. Like, do not make the presentation of it difficult for yourself. Use what you've got at the time. I've known people use, what's it called? Like pretty ribbon from like a craft kit or from gift wrap just to tie things together. That's okay. You can use it like that. That's fine. One of the things that I like to use with clients is empty toilet roll tubes. So wrapping the way around in a figure of eight and then putting it inside and then writing on the outside of the tube what it is, popping it in a box so it's easy to find. That's what best thing is for us. It doesn't need to be Pinterest pretty though. It just needs to be functional. It needs to know, you need to know where it is and what it is. And that's it really. So give them a home, one basket, one clear box, a drawer with a divider if you've not got that many and they're quite thin. And the rule is simple. If you buy a new device, its charger lives here, not in the nearest surface you are standing next to when you open the box. And also, do not be afraid to get rid of those random little wires inside the box that you've got no idea what they are. Now, the amount of ones I find for like stereo systems and TVs that no one has got a clue what these different coloured bobbly wires are, let them go. If you've not used it, it is okay to let them go. You definitely can get those again. So obviously don't sue me if you don't ever get them again. But in my experience, if you've not used them, you're not going to use them in the future. So let them go. But remember, it's not about like minimalism or being perfect. It's just about reducing a bit of stress, really. So every time you open a drawer and you see a tangle, your brain just stresses because it's unfinished business and you don't know what it is and you get confused. And it's like, quickly shut the drawer again. And that is quite a cumulative issue when they're everywhere. But when it's contained and labelled, your nervous system can relax a little bit. You know where things are, and you've got that bit of trust in yourself a little bit more. So you get a bit of relaxation in that. I am also going to give you a Heather says it's okay moment. So you are allowed to keep spares. You are allowed to have a phone charger in every room in your home if that's what helps you. Have a phone that doesn't die because the battery dies when you need it. You're allowed to do that. You are allowed to not know what every single cable does, at least for a bit. You are allowed to recycle things even if you're 98% sure rather than 100% sure. It's okay to let it go. Ask yourself, can I get this item again? Give it a quick Google. You'll probably find that you can get it quite easily and cheaply. Most things have replacements that you can buy again these days. And it's highly unlikely you will actually never need to. If it's a really, really rare cable and you know it's going to be really hard to get again, despite not using it, it is okay to keep it. Remember that decluttering isn't just about what goes, it's about loving what you've got and knowing where it is and having the space for it and no stress because of it. That's what it's about. Not about being perfect, it's just about it being a bit easier for you. So if you need like a little tiny action to take after listening to this, I'm going to say go get a box, ideally a clear container, big heavy plastic one if you get it, if you've got loads, and mark it chargers, wires and cables and let everyone know in your home that's what it is and this is where it lives and this is what you're going to use it for. And don't forget to let me know how you get on. So if you message me, by the way, by the podcast, I love getting your messages and they come through direct to me and they make me smile and they make me happy. But what happens with that is it is kind of anonymous. They don't give me your details, so I cannot reply to you, I'm afraid. But do feel free to reach out, pop a message into my Facebook group and let me know how it goes. And if you can do me a massive favour, I would love it if you could give us a review. When we first started, we got loads of reviews to start off with, and it slowed down a bit and it makes me a bit sad. So if you can give me a bit of a review, positive one would be really great, then I would love you loads. And it also means that more people get to see what we do here and it helps get them untangled. Okay. So I hope that has given you something to think about. So until next time, be kind to yourself, remember you're not alone and keep untangling. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of Decluttering Untangled. If you found anything that I've said today helpful, please do me a favour, hit that subscribe button or leave me a review. It's like receiving a virtual high five that keeps me going and lets me know that I'm helping real people out there and I'm making a difference. Please remember, you're not alone in this. I'm building a community of fellow untanglers over on Facebook. Just visit the show notes for the link to my free decluttering community. So until next time, remember, you're not alone, you're not lazy, you can untangle your life.